So on behalf of our family, just want to thank everybody. Thank you for joining us for the celebration of life with Patrick James Hanlon. Thanks for being such a special part of Patrick's life and for all the overwhelming outpouring of support that we've received from all of you. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. And this is a celebration, by the way. I'm going to try to be smiling. But as 2021 turned into 2022, our family lost three very important pieces. My brother Patrick, my uncle Eddie Leahy, and my great aunt Mary Valero. Yesterday we had a beautiful service and celebration of life for Aunt Mary, who is, I describe Aunt Mary as sort of the matriarch of our Leahy family and certainly the heart and soul of our infamous Leahy Fest. So that was yesterday. So today we celebrate Patrick's life, but today we also remember and honor our Uncle Eddie. And it seems strange for me to call him Uncle Eddie because he's only been known by me and my friends as, well, my friends as Dawg, and by me as Uncle Dawg for the past 30 years. When I went to a basketball camp out of state, it's about 14 or so, Uncle Dawg came to pick me up with my dad, and he was watching the last day of games, and all the guys would, "What up, Dawg? Yo, Dawg, good pass, Dawg. Hey, outlet, Dawg." And so after the games, he came up to me and said, "Sean, why is everybody calling everybody Dawg?" I explained the significance of it and kind of a term of endearment. He said, "Oh, okay. Well, good game, Sean Dawg." And I said, well, thanks, Uncle Dawg. And from that moment forward, he's been Uncle Dawg. So that's just kind of like an example of how he was such a family kind of oriented uncle. Uncle Dawg loved his family and friends to the fullest and was so very proud of his daughters, Jennifer and Kristen, his grandkiddos, Dylan, Kendall, Kaylee, London, and Cash, and his extended family. I don't know if you saw, but Patrick had a special bond with Uncle Dawg. Dawg coached him in baseball for the Legion a bit, and there's a bench in the back of the room that will be placed out at GHS's baseball field at some location. But it's a bench that says Silver Streaks, and it bears both of their names, Eddie Leahy, Dawg, and Patrick Hanlon. So we love you, Uncle Dawg. So, to Patrick, celebration. So, there's so much about Patrick's life to celebrate from my standpoint, and it's so natural to celebrate Patrick's life because Patrick celebrated life. Now, I'm admittedly biased, but I have yet to come across a person that matched his variety of talents and gifts. Patrick was smart. During his formative years, and due in large part to his ability just to memorize things, facts, formulas, figures, academics came naturally to Patrick. Some of you might remember there was a TV commercial for railroad days, and Patrick was 4 or 5 years old. And of the 30-second spot, 25 seconds was just Patrick's face talking about the railroad days. So he memorized all of that as a 5-year-old. The last 5 seconds was Patrick tearing off in a big wheel because there were big wheel races at railroad days. But Patrick's ability to memorize things so easily, why he could sing song after song after song, was great for Patrick because the rest of us had to spend hours studying for tests. Well, Patrick could just, all right, I memorized that, now I'm going to go have some fun, and I'm going to entertain people. That's pretty smart. Patrick was athletic. To me, one of the true signs of being a gifted athlete is excelling in a variety of sports. And Patrick excelled in 3 sports. He could throw a baseball over 90 miles per hour. And he was accurate. So if he hit you, he meant it. He could throw a football 65 yards. He went on to play baseball and football in college, but basketball was his favorite sport. Obviously. Picked her up. As a basketball player, one of his greatest joys was he got to be on the 1998 Silver Streaks team that got second in the state. And Patrick was one of those glue guys on a team that just did a variety of things: rebounds, passes, getting his teeth knocked out when it made sense. But at the end of his senior year in high school, Patrick earned what was called the Don Morris Award, given to the outstanding multi-sport student athlete of the year, not just for Galesburg High School, but for the entire Western Big Six Conference. Patrick was musical, extremely so. He started with the piano, but quickly gravitated to the guitar, because you can't carry a piano around very easily. But you can carry a guitar around, and he could just take that guitar and he would play for people. And he found that to be a lot more convenient. He also could, if he picked up an instrument, he could figure out kind of how to play it. And he had a beautiful singing voice. He sang at my wedding. He was cast as the wedding singer in Tony and Tina's show in Chicago. And here, well, it was on the screen, his band, Patrick and Swayze, was recruited to come out to Colorado, where I live. And they played at Copper Mountain in front of 10,000 racers at the Warrior Dash. I was in the race, and Patrick was on the stage performing for people. And my kids were right up at the front of the stage in awe of their uncle. Patrick was funny. There are, certain people can make you belly laugh. I can't tell you how many times my face is hurting, my belly's, Patrick got me in stitches so many times. It's so funny. He even tried stand-up comedy later in life. Patrick was charismatic. He kind of exuded charisma. After he died, so many of you have remarked that Patrick had the ability to he kind of lit up a room when he entered. So that charisma is what made him be a really great entertainer, because in between songs, while the other guys are getting ready to do whatever, Patrick's interacting with the audience, and he just had that charisma. Patrick was kind, and a lot of his kindness ends up blending some of his gifts. So just two quick examples. One of his high school basketball teammates, Jason Wessels, I don't know if he's here, was in the hospital his junior year in high school and having a tough time. And Patrick took his guitar, went to the hospital, played Adam Sandler's Happy Hanukkah song, and got Jason laughing. My Nana, my dad's mom, was in hospice care at the end of her life and not responsive to anybody. Patrick was going to say goodbye to Nana, took his guitar, and she was non-responsive until Patrick started playing. And she opened her celebration. She opened her eyes and locked eyes with Patrick. So he was very kind. And the boy had rhythm. The boy could dance. This is a gift that was not passed down from his father. Or his Uncle Tom. Or Blue Block. But Mom thankfully passed down that gift, and Patrick liked to use it. So Patrick celebrated his life through his gifts. Patrick loved people. Patrick had a knack for quickly finding common interests with others, and he enjoyed connecting with people on a positive level. He excelled in sales during his career as a result of a blend of these characteristics, his ability to connect with folks. And as his older brother, I'm just so proud and grateful that Patrick used his many gifts and talents for the purposes of entertaining and bringing joy to others. That was his why. It's his purpose in life. He lived a meaningful life of spreading happiness. Whether it was competing on the athletic fields or courts, playing musical instruments, singing, acting, dancing, songwriting, or cracking jokes, Patrick was truly at his best when he was performing for others. Nothing brought Patrick more joy himself than to know that he made people feel happy, loved, connected, and entertained. So whether you knew Patrick for 5 minutes or 41 years, I guarantee you he made you smile and laugh at some point. So at his core, Patrick was a kind soul with a big heart who loved his family and friends to the fullest. Patrick had room in his big heart for all of his friends and family. I was always impressed with the strong bonds he had with his amazing friends and supportive friends. Patrick developed very close connections with each of his grandparents, his uncles, his cousins, nieces, and nephews. Patrick cherished his relationship with his two older brothers, Michael and me, and that feeling was mutual. He was our best friend. Patrick greatly loved and appreciated his parents and their tremendous devotion to him. And above all else, Patrick loved his two sons, Jack and Brian, who are right here in his college football jersey, number 1, with their cousin Jake. Though Patrick was always happiest while surrounded by those that he loved and that loved him back. So if you all humor me for a minute, Patrick and I had a nonverbal sign or a way of communicating with each other that we could do so from a great distance. So when Patrick was playing football and I was back in town from college, when he's warming up on the football field, we had this sign, we called it Knuckles to the Dome, Knucks. And it came from some basketball players in the 90s that after they did a dunk or a nice highlight play, they would run it back down the court and tap their head with their knuckles. So Patrick and I did that with each other, and it was sort of like, I love you, go get them, compete. And we'd finish it with the I love you sign. So if all of you here could give Patrick the knuckles, so to Patrick, we celebrate you, we're forever grateful for you, and we love you. Knucks forever, Patrick. Thanks for coming, everybody.